coaching, following up our virtual note buying workshop we hosted a few weeks ago. We've been doing these obviously the last couple of weeks just to kind of help you implement more. Obviously, we cover so much stuff during our 3-day workshop on the finding side, the raising capital side, the marketing side, the flip side, the flow side. For you can't cover it all in 2.5 days. You're not going to remember it all. I mean, you're not going to learn the note business in 3 days, no matter who you go to. And that's why we provide these calls, is to help you as a bit of a refresher, but also help you implement more in what you're doing. And as long as you're taking actions, you're moving a little bit ahead, moving that needle, doing a little bit each day, you'll achieve success. One of the biggest things that I implement my success to, and really give credit to my success, is just the fact that I've been around doing this. I started doing things somebody told me it was good to do. I went and did it, and I stuck to it, and I stuck to it, and I stuck to it. And that's why I'm here. You got to have some patience. You got to have some fortitude. You have to have I hate to say this, but also, I don't mean to hate to say it, but you got to have some self-belief in that what you're doing is planting seeds for the long run, whether it's reaching out to asset managers or sending out to IRA investors or the marketing side, which is what we'll cover a lot today. To be coachable, it's not to have overnight success. This is not a scratch off lottery ticket for $1 billion. This is to create wealth. It takes time. And if you're especially brand new, don't get frustrated. Understand that it takes time. The military has a saying, hashtag embrace the suck. Okay. You're going to suck at things at first. It's okay. Everybody does. Guess what? Everybody pulls their pants on one leg at a time. Everybody puts their underwear. Everybody wipes their ass with toilet paper after taking a crap today. Okay. You all are getting into that process. You're not going to be perfect at what you do. I'm always amazed. I get people like, well, I can't do that until it's perfect. I had a conversation. Well, maybe it's not really a conversation. A conversation last night in Facebook with a group. I'll talk more about later. And one of the things that really gets me just absolutely just as a burr underneath my skin is when people that are up here make things more complicated for those that are getting started. Okay. And it's not difficult. The note investing game, the marketing game is not difficult. You start, you go, you're not going to be at where somebody is making, $1 million a year, or they got a huge budget. If you start off here, guess what? That's okay. You can grow into where you want to be. It just takes time. But too many times I see these guys up here that work for companies, they don't understand what the people are going through as you and me investors making our own offers. It doesn't happen that way. Okay. And I want tonight to really focus on some great stuff for you to get rock and roll. But anyway, if you have not read the book Tribes by Seth Godin, Seth is one of my favorite authors. I mean, I've read just about everything he has. He's entertaining. He's interesting. He really writes in a way that is easy to understand. And he had this book, Seth Tribes, that came out over 10 years ago, I want to say. I had a good chance to hear Seth a couple times in person. I actually tried to get him on my podcast. He respectfully declined. He doesn't go on a lot of people's podcasts. But through a friend of a friend, I was able to actually talk with him back and forth via email. But he's this book called Tribes. And the premise of the book Tribes is that we're all surrounded and all belong to a variety of tribes. But what is lacking in today's world is true leadership. Okay? True leadership. And we need you to lead us. We all are leaders. I know some of us would rather be followers, or some of us just want to belong. We don't necessarily want to lead. But what is lacking in today's world, and I'm not here to talk politics, is really true, authentic leadership. People that are there to lead, not just for themselves, but for the group. All right. And when you think about this, and what we do as real estate investors, everybody wants some, everybody wants some, everybody needs some, right? We all want to be investors. Okay. We all need to invest. I mean, Jesus saves, everybody else has to invest. Okay. And so what you have to realize is I want you to think back about what attracted you to real estate investing. Okay. Think about this for a second. What attracted you? There's a variety of things, right? I was just in one of my banks today, setting up some stuff, and the lady is a new banker. She's been a banker about a year. She comes, I was like, oh, what attracts you to the banking side? And I want to get into real estate. I'm like, okay, I can understand you want to do that and go that route, but why I want to get into flipping houses and I want to do all this stuff. I'm like, that's awesome. I want to learn more about business. She's like, oh, that's great. But here's the thing: when she heard we were talking about real estate investing, it was funny. She's like, "Oh, that's pretty cool," but she didn't. She's like, "I don't know where to begin." All right, and that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. When somebody asks you what you do, and you say you're a real estate investor, or what I say is I raise property for real estate deals, or I invest in distressed assets, whatever it might be. Okay, everybody out there wants to be a real estate investor, but they don't know where to start. Oh, how'd you get into that? When I talk about note investing, that's always the question again. How did you get into that? That is such a different niche. Okay, how the heck I had somebody reach out to me yesterday? It's interviewing me on their podcast sometime next week about that. Like, how the heck do you get into that niche of note investing, especially when you've done it for almost 16, 17 years now? Okay. But that's the thing you got to realize, everybody. You are in it. If you're in real estate, no investing, guess what? You've got a magic key. Okay. And it literally is the sexy side of real estate. Okay. Note investing really is being the bank, is the sexy side of real estate. Being in the bank today, I'm sitting there just kind of cracking myself because I've bought notes from that bank before. And I remember being a young banker for JP Morgan Chase back in the day, and somebody came and said they were trying to buy notes. I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but no, we don't do that. Okay. It's the same thing. We hold the key, we hold the password. You remember, if any of you are Matrix fans, you know, the Matrix movies with Keanu Reeves, there's that guy who's the key master. He's got that little small shop, and he's got a key that gets him in and out of everything. We really do that, have that in the banking and the mortgage and the note investing space with what we do, okay? But here's what's happened. A lot of us that come from non-investing backgrounds or non-investing routes, when we approach thinking about talking this about people, we think that oftentimes, especially in the raising capital side, we're begging for money. And you're not begging for money when it comes to raising capital. You're offering an opportunity. You aren't selling. I'm trying to sell them. I'm trying to close them. No, don't do that. And if you try to do that, people are going to smell it. One of the best things I've had from my previous careers was I went through really great sales training. Okay. And it wasn't selling. They're like, don't come across trying to sell. Ask questions and listen, but realize you have an opportunity to help them in whatever aspect they are. And you all do, especially in today's chaotic world. You're offering an opportunity to help them get going. There's no multi-level marketing. They ain't got to draw no circles. You ain't got to go out and recruit people. All right. I mean, who hasn't been a part of some multi-level marketing system? If you're an entrepreneur, you've got to be through something like that, whether it's like I don't know, the Ginsu knives, or if I can't remember back in the day, but the whole Quick Star, the Amway, or that crazy wrap thing, or we've all been there. And that's a sales job. That's not fun. Got to go out and recruit people, have underneath you. You got to build a pipeline, right? Who wasn't going to be a double diamond distributor back in the days? But here's the thing. Most people don't have a clue about distressed or discounted deals like we do. They think about going out and buying real estate. They got to have good credit, a down payment, 20% to go buy and invest in real estate. We all know that's not true. That is literally back to me. That's like giving somebody the red pill versus the blue pill, right? You give them the red pill, they eyes open up and they don't understand that this never existed before, right? Most people, and that's the thing too, when they don't know what's going on, most people don't think they can make 6% or greater. They love hearing about it, but they get excited for like, oh my God, the CDs at 4.25 or 4.5. When I was a banker, I'd have millions of dollars transfer from like across the street of Bank of America to Chase to go from a 4.125% to 4.5% CD rate. Okay. Because they didn't know. These people didn't know any difference about what they wanted to do. Okay. And here's the thing. If people are looking for more than what a certificate of disappointment is offering, they can't go find it themselves. But you can do that for them. You can help them with that. Okay. And you literally have the gold. Okay. You've all heard that analogy. He or she who holds the gold makes the rules. Well, guess what? The gold is not the money. Okay. The gold is the deal flow. It's the opportunity. Money is still cheap. Yes, it is. Okay. There's always demand for money or demand to put that money to work. It's the deals. Having a quality deal is really what's most important. Okay. But you just have to get the word out that you on here tonight have deals and opportunities for people to earn above average returns. You have the opportunity. I got to give a big shout out to Cal Ewan, one of my coaching students. I saw he posted something yesterday, or maybe it was this morning. He posted about Hey, he's working on like 30 different deals. We were talking yesterday during his coaching call, and he's looking at buying some performing notes, needs some funding, still going to make a decent return, giving somebody a 7-8% return. I'm like, that's awesome. It's get the marketing out, start sharing what you're doing. And everybody out there is a buyer, a seller, or a funding source. I have to thank one of my mentors, Roland Frazier, who taught me that everybody's a buyer, everybody's a seller, or they're a funding source. And most of the time, they're 2 out of 3. Sometimes you'll find all 3. Okay. And that's what you have to realize. I get people that call me up that want to be wholesalers. Okay. I want to wholesale notes to sellers. I'm gonna find a seller or a buyer to buy this stuff. I'm like, okay. But you realize that buyer is also a funding source. Huh? No, if they gotta have the money to buy the stuff, they're a funding source. If you could show them an 8% return and they don't have to do any more work except funding, that makes more sense. Like, oh yeah, it does. Okay. But then also think about too, how many people have been fired or laid off or quit their job or moved on in the last 5 years. Okay. Millions of people have gone through that. And guess what? They've got a 401k sitting out there dormant, not doing anything now. Yes, it might be in a Fidelity or it might be some other type of fund or an old 401k, but it's not, I guarantee it's not producing the type of returns that they would like to see. Okay. I mean, I've seen people have got 4 or 5 old IRAs sitting out there. They don't log in and take a look at it. They don't know if it's doing well or sitting there dormant, not making anything at all. Okay. And you have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, there is a river of money out there. Now, I know I've got some friends of mine that are financial advisors, even got some students of you guys that are out there that are financial advisors, and you can't literally target 401ks to market that for rollovers. I don't understand that, but it is what it is. But you can target those people for potential funding sources for your real estate deals. Get them rolled into a self-directed IRA at an IRA company and help them put that money to work in your own deals. So let's create a funding tribe because we're all a part of different tribes, okay? But let's create a funding tribe for you. And let's think about where are the tribes at. Now, we're not talking about like walking around, hey, like the guy you see all the time, hey, talk to me about how to make above average return. We're not talking about wrapping your car and stuff or doing anything like that. I mean, some people have done that and it turns out to be pretty good. Why not? We've all got a tribe. Think about if you have a career. Guess what? You've got a tribe that surrounds you at work. Church, okay? Networking, meetup groups. I talk about this all the time at the local real estate clubs or BNI, your friends, your family, your good friends, your good family. We've all got the others that are like, we don't want to do anything with it, right? Of course, then you also have social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, people that follow what you're doing. And some of you don't have a social media presence. You're like, oh, I hate that. And I get it. Look, I understand it's a love-hate relationship for you, but it's a necessary evil in today's world. And you don't have to share a lot of the personal stuff. You can share just what you're doing real estate wise, investing wise, and it'll attract business. I mean, it's part of it is just being out there regularly in front of your audience and growing your network. And think about this. You know, do you want to fish? Do you want to catch a big fish in a small pond? Well, you're probably not going to catch a big fish in a small pond. It's going to be probably pretty hard to catch small fishes in small ponds. And the way I approach social media is it's literally an ocean. And every time we post something or cross promote or cross share, something like that, I'm expanding my network. I'm not just throwing a line in the water, I'm expanding my cast net. And I can catch more with a net than I can with just one line in the water. Okay. I'll give you an example. We released an episode on Monday about the Q1 foreclosure reports, right? Okay. And the update from Adam. Well, we posted a short video yesterday where we basically took a section out of that video and did it for a 1 minute short. Well, that's got us a bunch of views on that on YouTube yesterday, about 500 views on YouTube. Well, on TikTok, I think it had about 400. We did the same thing again today with a different aspect of it, and we got over 1,100 views on TikTok, only like 6 views so far on YouTube, but our audience, our followers, kicking at night. Okay, so we have different tribes that we're sharing that same message, the same exact 1 minute video across like 8 different places to do that. Okay. Now you're also guys have, REI clubs, self-directed IRA events you're part of that are also could be very valuable tribes for you to go to and be a leader. And what I mean by being a leader of these things is actually getting up and sharing what the heck you're doing. Conventions, conferences are a prime place to go to because there's people looking for stuff that you can get up. Hey, I'm actually an investor, like Don. Don did on here. He bought a tax lien or text her, stuff like that. Great, get up and talk. Talk to other people in the area. We've all done fix and flips or wholesales or stuff like that. I'm always amazed when I go to the local real estate clubs and spoken there, and they have the needs and wants, or people want to share a deal, and people don't want to get up. I don't want to brag in front of people. No, you're not sharing it. You're not bragging. You're actually showing that you're the creme of the creme. You're the top part of that cream. You're the 1% actually doing something, and we need more of the 1%ers to lead. Okay. So, where can you build or grow a tribe to help you grow your river of money? Obviously, you can go, we've talked about this before, going to the self-directed IRA investors by pulling the county appraisal or the county clerk or recorder's office. You can buy a list of people that have an IRA or a 401k from Exact Data or Melissa Data. You can do searching on LinkedIn for note investors, IRA investors, networking. This is all not, this is, we've talked about this before. This is not rocket science, okay? But when I look at you guys, but I want you to be honest with yourself. If these are things that you can do, when was the last time you actually got off your ass and did one of these things? And for many of you, you're like, oh, I haven't done shit. Well, that's why you haven't raised shit, okay? For those that you have started taking action, it doesn't take long for you to start seeing results. It doesn't take long for you to start getting traction if you just stick with it and start doing things on a regular basis, okay? But you got to get organized, okay? We've talked about this before. You need an LLC. You got to have a website. They're going to help you. If you don't have that, you got to at least update your LinkedIn account. You got to take your stack of business cards and put them in there and send an email blast out to you. You've got to start emailing and sharing your knowledge or what your expertise is with your tribe. And that's either once a week email or a bi-monthly email blast to investors or your warm market. Hey, how was your January? Hey, how was your February? Hey, happy March. Happy April Fool's Day. You know what I mean? What do we have coming up here? We got graduations. We got Mother's Day. We got Memorial Day. We got summer vacation. Now's a great time to really start communicating with people. And we love using Keep to get this out. I'm not here to sell you on a CRM. But the thing is, like today, many of you got an email from me at about noon today, all right, about this call, right? And I got people that will go watch it. We'll have a couple hundred views on the video. We got some people watching on YouTube that would prefer to watch on there. That's fine. It's just a communication. I don't expect all my whole database to show up exactly at 7 p.m. or 5 p.m., which would be really awesome. I expect people to show up that are interested, but then also those follow up that follow up and follow. And those that need to talk with me, they'll book a time on my calendar link. And that's great. Same thing with LinkedIn connections. We've grown our LinkedIn from 6,000 to 30,000 via Octopus CRM and reaching out and doing that stuff where we're capped out on connections. I can just follow people or people can just follow me. But that is one of our best ways to raise capital. It's a great way to get the word out what we're doing by just constantly sharing. If you work the analogy, so let's just say 1% of your audience is going to connect with you or see what you're saying. Well, 1% of 500 is what? 5 people. 1% of 30,000 is how many? 300. So growing your network is a way to leverage yourself and your knowledge to get a bigger audience. And you got to be connected with people on a regular basis, okay? And you've got to be patient. And I throw this up here, especially when you're reaching out to, okay? 80% of sales happens after the 5th contact. And you have to understand that process. It's a process. It's not an overnight success. You send one email out, one postcard, people are going to start running to your house to pay or give you money. It takes time to do this, okay? You have to plan on sending 5 things over 10 weeks is what I would say, okay? Social media will be a little bit slower on this because not everybody's going to see, okay? Hello, the week 1 when I send out to an IRA investor, it's going to be a hello letter with executive summary and maybe 3 case studies, stuff that you've actually got in the manual. Guys, actually, we share what we send out. Week 3 would be a postcard, single postcard with a case study. All right, a little deal that we did, and then it's a link to the pitch deck video. Week 5 is another letter with a meeting invite and a link to the pitch deck video, okay? Week 7, another postcard with a case study with a link to the pitch deck video, okay? Week 9, a letter with a case study and an invite, again, pitch deck, calendar link to get the ball rolling and talking. And you just have to follow up and follow up and follow up. But that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 10 weeks. Okay. This is not difficult. Okay. No, I don't have a response yet. It just is so aggravating. And I know there's something going on with Keep right now. They're in video doing so that's why I'm not getting a response back on the update of what you're looking for, John. Okay. So I've been dealing with them on my own here. So no yet. But anyway, moving on here. Okay. But here's the thing to look at is it's great to send it out to you. If you're doing direct mail campaigns, that can be very costly. Okay. I want something that's going to be 365 day out of the year, 365 days advertising to get it. What do? Well, you need some basic videos. Our YouTube channel, even though it's small compared to some others, it is ideal. That's why, we have the #1 YouTube channel in note investing because we just share on a regular basis. And sometimes it's longer form content, sometimes it's short. It's just that when we upload something, guess what? It's just not seen there where it's only posted that day. It works 365 days a year for us when we post something, okay? And when you're starting off, you don't need to have 2,000 videos or 8,000 videos. What you need to do is start sharing your message about you and your focus, okay? A video about who you are, how'd you got into real estate investing, what your focus is, why you like notes, okay? Talk about case studies. These don't even have to be note deals. They can be past or present or others people doing interviews. Putting your pitch deck video for 10 minutes on there to your investors. I have a pitch deck for asset managers too. It doesn't need to be difficult, but put a link to your YouTube channel in your email signature when you're starting off, okay? If you're being interviewed on a podcast, share that somewhere. Like Cal, we got him on a couple podcasts, and he's like, oh my God, somebody reached out to me and they want to put $250,000 with me right off the bat. And you heard me from this one podcast. I'm like, yeah, baby, that works, okay? But the thing is important is setting up your YouTube is important. There's things you need to do. There's a guy that runs a podcasting platform who's had a digital media show for like 10 years. He just throws his videos on YouTube. He's like, well, video doesn't work. I'm like, my video doesn't work because you're not doing the things you do. You're not putting a description. You're not putting a thumbnail that looks at it. You're not putting any keywords in that aspect. And he's like, oh, it takes too much. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It may take you a lot of time the first time. But if you do that, you will see an increase if you will do those things. And we have seen an increase by doing that. I can go back to when we started using something called TubeBuddy, which is an application that I pay for monthly. When I started using TubeBuddy, I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, I had a channel. Now, we would throw stuff up there and we wouldn't really, a little description, but we didn't know all the other things. It was just basically, a lot of times it was me with stroke face. Okay. Maybe it was 6 years ago. Anyway, but I didn't customize it. I just kind of threw it up there and put the description and thought it would work. Well, no, but when I started using TubeBuddy and realized how to effectively use YouTube, it's become one of our strongest tools for raising capital and connecting with you. A lot of you have gone out there and watch our stuff on YouTube videos and training stuff like that to get rock and roll, okay? And you should create a little short video. Hey, welcome to my YouTube channel, okay? Do a different video for your return subscribers or different playlists. There's all sorts of things that you can do. It's just more than posting, okay? And you can go in and set up your YouTube channel with specific channel tags so that it's attracting people that are out there looking for note investors or raising capital. You can actually set up some channel upload defaults, whereas you upload a video, it all flows over a bunch of keywords or descriptions or websites over to you. Video titles are great to have. Video description is important. Each video should have normal keywords to it, like note investing or using your IRA to retire or making passive income. All right. Your video thumbnails are less important now than they used to be, but you still need to do something when they're scrolling through YouTube that captures their eye. Okay. Now, part of today's training is setting that aspect of these expectations like I just did here the last 10, 15 minutes. 20 minutes. Okay. But it's coming out to marketing deals. You're going to raise the most amount of money and draw the most amount of attention when you start marketing deals. That's really what this whole week 3 is about. That's why we talked about what the need for that follow-up, the need to understanding it's a process that needs to keep going, okay? And investors don't want theory. They want something really tangible. And tangible, but I mean potential is either a deal you've done or a deal that you're physically working on right now. Okay, something you're looking at, not theory, but something tangible. Okay, And they're going to want to know like the property address, the deal specs. I always say an image says 1,000 words. You want a pretty decent picture of the property. You don't need to share the address. Like it could be 14005 Windermere Trail in Detroit, Michigan. Well, just say Detroit, Michigan deal. If you know, and share the specs of it. Nobody's gonna go out and run around you. Okay. They don't invest in theory. They like the theory, but they're not going to invest in theory. And that's my biggest complaint when I get people, I'm going to go raise capital before I make any offers. I'm like, no, we got to get you making some offers. This will entice your investors. If you start talking theory and have nothing to show them, your investors are going to get tired after a few weeks and go want to put their money back to work. Okay. But you've got to start marketing now. Even if you have the funds, you have to start marketing now, because at some point you're going to run out of capital of using your own money and like, oh, I don't have any money. I'm not going to make any offers on anything. Or maybe you get in a tight bind. Oh, I need to get my capital back. Well, it's tied up in deals. If you raise capital, you still be in the deal, but refinance your own money out. Okay. Even if you don't have an accepted deal, you still need to be targeting and raising capital marketing. Okay. And I always say these are, especially if it's case studies, I always like to talk about these are the types of deals that we do. Okay. Pick a property or a note deal off of a website or a tape. Make sure it's got a good looking image. You know, do your due diligence on the deal so you can talk about the asset. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot house. Rent's $800 a month. The existing mortgage payment is $650. It's valued at 60 grand. We're going to pick it up for 30. Borrower owes 45. They're about 6 months behind. It's going to be about, if we get them back on track and start making payments, it's going to be about a 20% cash and cash return. If they don't, we'll foreclose. And it'll still be a decent return if we just get paid off. If we do have to take the asset back, guess what? We have now a $60,000 asset that we're into for 30, and it's to be a higher ROI. Just talking about those types of deals helps, okay? And don't be afraid. Make an offer. Oh my gosh, make an offer on a couple of deals. Get the ball rolling on doing the due diligence, okay? And things, ladies and gentlemen, go out and post the deal to your social media, your database. You don't share the address, but say, hey, I'm working on this deal in Detroit. I'm working on this deal in Cleveland. I'm working on this deal in Miami. Here's the specs. Here's the numbers. Here's the street view of the property. Well, Scott, wouldn't somebody, if they're doing the same stuff, be able to tell you the street address? No, they're not. Here's the thing. Most of people aren't doing shit out there. Okay? Note investing is already a smaller niche. Okay? There's probably 50,000 true note investors like you and me. Yeah, there's some bigger funds. I'm not throwing those in there. But maybe 40, 50,000 across the country. And you know how many people are doing something on a regular basis? Less than 10% or less than 5%. Okay. Capital One. Let me give you an example. When I got into Capital One years ago, you know how many people were on their note buyer list? Less than 500 people for all the stuff across the country. Okay. And I wasn't connected with many of those people. So if I knew I posted something, unlikely for anybody to see that unless they actually went and searched for stuff. So what do? If you see a picture of a property and it looks like it's something that's been advertised, guess what? Move the Google Maps so it's from a side. It takes a little bit different angle so it looks differently. Okay. Just don't talk about the street address. Okay. And you're working through the due diligence process. Hey, we're working through the due diligence process of this, but hey, here's what we're making an offer at. Here's what we're going to come in at. It's not difficult. And it's really a pretty easy step-by-step process. Pull the street view image. Okay. If it's too rural and you don't have one, then probably don't do the deal. Or if it's like in a gated community condo, take the unit number off when searching and see if you can find a similar unit. Okay. Create an image on Canva, canva.com. You know, use presentation slides, Facebook images, YouTube thumbnail, whatever it might be. Create one slide with the property image, slide one, and then a second slide with the details of the deal. Okay. I'll show you an example one here in a second, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay. But use slides, these two slides, to help you create a short deal video with Zoom on a PowerPoint presentation. Okay. Record it. Send the file to rev.com and they can transcribe it for $1.25 a minute of whatever you say in that your little 1 to 2 minute video. Use the transcription from Rev to create your blog, your description across the board. And then go around and upload that short video to YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, your website, and use the slide number 1 as the thumbnail of the image. And then you go, guess what? If you've started building a list of IRA investors, take that same image and create a postcard on like Vista Print or something like that to send out to the IRA investors. Okay, so let me give you an example. This is a great one here. It's a property in Detroit. It's a Detroit REO we bought. Actually, we foreclosed on. We bought the note, foreclosed on it, and rehabbed it. Okay. But this was the slide. We just took the image off of Google Maps. We created this image in Canva. That's slide one. Slide two is the exact same image, but instead of the Detroit REO, we put the information here. Fair market value is 60. It's in the 48227 zip code. 3-bed, 1-bath, 1,000 square foot, 1,000-month rent rate, tenant occupied. We're selling it for 40,000 or the best offer. Okay. Okay. Somebody said, "Well, I don't want to buy it, but I'm willing to fund it." So okay, we'll take your money and fund it and keep it as a rental. Okay. But this is not difficult. This is very, very easy to do. You don't have to be an amazing Adobe graphics designer. Canva will help you create the stuff very, very simply. Okay. Now, phase two of your deal marketing, once you create the slides, is go to meetup groups in the area. You can go to meetup.com and go to these different groups. They've got a discussion board. You can go on there and post to the discussion board. They have a message board post there. Okay. Post your video in that. They'll often allow you to embed a short video. Put your little description in there. Okay. Search for note and real estate investors in the deal area on LinkedIn. Okay. One thing that we did a couple years ago, we were buying a note in South San Antonio. We recorded a short little 2-minute video of me walk around the property, talk about the asset, and I went and I posted it to 3 meetup groups in San Antonio. Okay. Within a matter of 12 hours, I had 6 people that were willing to fund the deal. It was like 65,000. 6 people that reached out to me. Now, I already had one person that was interested before I did this, but now I had 6 backup offers or 6 backup funding sources. So what does that mean? I can work that, making sure that my first investor is not going to flake. It's like, hey, if you're not going to fund this, I'm going to go backup and backup. But it also let me know, so like, listen, hey, I've got somebody already ahead of you who's reached out to fund the deal. Can I call you on the next one? And you know what they all said? Yes. Okay. Send your connection invites as you're reaching out, connecting with somebody on LinkedIn or Facebook or Bigger Pockets. Send them a link with your YouTube link to the video. You may create a bit.ly link so it's free and you can see how many people are viewing something. Okay. Join Facebook groups in your different areas and post images, videos in the groups as well. Some of these big cities have huge, huge Facebook groups which people look at. Now, yes, I know they can be dumpster fires, but posting something there about a deal that you're working on, you don't have to have a big database to do it. It will help you build a database. Okay. Now, if you do have an email database, guess what? Send an email out to your database. Okay. These are the types of deals that we're doing. Now, you're not going to want this to be your first email out. I always say your hello letter or hello email your database first. Hey, we've been friends, or maybe you know me as this guy for 20 years. Maybe you didn't know that for the last 6, I've also been a real estate investor. Here's what we're kind of working on. Okay. But there's easy ways for you to take your content, like we just talked about, taking an image that you create in Canva from a property or something like that. And there's 10 different ways to get touches off of your deal. Okay. YouTube videos. If you create a short little deal video, it works 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with Google and YouTube. Google being the #1 search engine, which owns YouTube, which is the second search engine. Okay. That alone helps you get your message out. Okay. Facebook video, less important than it used to be because it does really have the algorithm not working in your favor. But guess what? 1 to 5% of your connections are going to see your video in 24 to 40 hours. So you might as well share it there. Okay. LinkedIn video, same thing, 24 to 48 hours in your profile. You can actually, if it's a good deal, post it as a project and move it higher up on your profile so that people, when they're checking you out, they can see that. LinkedIn blog or an article, you can highlight your profile. It becomes advertising for you too. We talked about that. Meetup groups. Okay. It just depends on the group activity. Local investors, I mean, local to either where you're at or local to where the deal is at, be the best. Okay. Facebook groups, we've talked about posting there, build a contact list, emails, names. Hey, I've got some deals in Houston, got some deals in Cleveland. If you're interested, reach out to me. Send me a message. When they send you a message, hey, what's your email address? What's your phone? And I can add you to my buyers list. Okay. Same thing with LinkedIn investors. Look on there, real estate investors. Same thing. Hey, can I get your email address? And I'll add you to my buyers list. Self-directed IRA investors. These are hot deals and funding sources, getting people to respond to your postcard, your email blast, or the list that you buy from somebody and just say, hey, we've got different deals. If you're interested in putting some money, lazy assets to work, we can. Okay. posting images on a regular basis, short videos. This builds credibility. Okay. We've raised capital from posting a 1-minute video before, but we've posted a lot of videos to get that person say they went back and binged and watched stuff. Like, I've just watched a lot of your videos. That's the whole reason we post on a regular basis. On a regular basis, you're not going to beat me, ladies and gentlemen. But guess what? Every day you post something, it's more seeds out there and it's a bigger net, more lines in the water. Okay. And the whole goal of getting people to respond, connect to you, is to grow your email database. Okay. Awareness that you can use on an ongoing basis going forward. If TikTok gets sold or your Twitter account stops or Facebook burns down, guess what? You still have an email database that you can target to. Okay. I know this can seem overwhelming. Okay. But start off with just Canva. Go get you a good image, save it, share it there. Just pull something and take your time, pull out your smartphone and record a short little video. Hey, here, guys, here's a quick deal that I'm working on. All right. It's not meant to be difficult. You know, you're killing really 5 birds at one with one. So like this morning at 12 o'clock, I got up and said, okay, I talked about on my 1-minute video, my little video today is about the states, the 5 states that have the most amount of new foreclosure filings: New Hampshire, Illinois, Florida, Rhode Island, and Nevada, right? Well, it took me about 2 minutes to record it because I screwed up a couple times, but it took longer for me to upload those videos. Now I uploaded it to a couple different spots. Okay. There's actually a thing where you can hit on the button where it transcribes it for you. It's included with the software. So I uploaded TikTok, it saved that video. I went and uploaded it not only there to YouTube, to Facebook, to LinkedIn, to Twitter, and to Threads. And then there was another thing. I can't remember where else I uploaded it to. But anyway, 6 spots right there. Okay. My little short description, guess what? I'm using that everywhere else. Okay. Sharing that little video, sharing the blog everywhere else. Okay. I can send an email to my database or your CRM out there. I can create a postcard talking about it. The whole point, ladies and gentlemen, is it seems overwhelming because you've never done it before. And by just doing 5 actions of recording a video, you're going to have 20 plus different marketing opportunities. Actually, it's closer to 30 plus different ways to leverage one video or one image of a property and reshare everywhere else out. Okay. Question from somebody on here. The deal area on LinkedIn, you can post like on your profile, like you can, let me share here. It's a great question there. Let me share. I have my LinkedIn pulled up here. I think so. So LinkedIn, okay, you could go down here. If you're looking at your profile here, you could go down here and post these as featured. Like, here's a deal that I'm working on. It's featured. All right. Or go over to the Facebook groups or the LinkedIn groups and look for bigger groups there and share, hey, I got a deal that I'm working on. Okay. So that's what I mean. You can make them featured, like, here's a deal that I'm working on, a flip that we're working through. These are all great things to work on. You can also go down to projects too, if you wanted to, and put some projects. Okay. Like this one is a deal that Stephanie did. I don't know if it'll even still show it. But let me give you an example. So this is a great thing. We bought this condo note. We're getting ready to buy this condo note from a California hedge fund. All right. And Steph, she had like, I think 3,200, 3,500 connections on LinkedIn. LinkedIn used to allow you to export your connections, right? So she did that. What she did, she exported the connections because most of them are real estate. She created a MailChimp account, went over, uploaded her database from LinkedIn, her email database, into MailChimp. The condo had plenty of other photos. We actually could find the actual photos of the condo and all the amenities like the pool and other things like that. And so she found interior photos that the owner was using for like the Airbnb side. So she put those videos into an Animoto video. I don't know if it'll play or not here. Yeah, so this is Animoto that popped up there. So you probably can't hear, there's music in the background. It's really kind of catchy. But what was great is she took just this whole video, she just dropped the 20 so photos into Animoto, and Animoto created this nice little transitional video, right? Now there's other applications, apps that'll do that for you right now. So anyway, we've created this video in Animoto. Sent an email blast out to her database of 3,500 people from LinkedIn. Some she knew well, others she didn't know very well at all. And she was looking for $70,000 to buy the note. Okay. No, Octopus does not allow you to download the contact info. Okay. Octopus just works in LinkedIn with the LinkedIn profile URLs, not their emails. Okay. Like I said, LinkedIn used to allow you to do that. They stopped allowing to do that. But anyway, if you take your database, so what she did, she sent an email out to the database. She had 70 people respond. 70. Okay. 70 people respond to fund or buy the unit at 70 grand. Now she was looking for funding. Some people wanted to buy it from her. But if you look at that number, what type of private capital did she raise with one email blast? In one video, took her about an hour to create. Okay. Almost $5 million. Okay. Y'all all have millions of dollars in your database. You just share what the hell you're doing. Okay. I've used Animoto and something similar like this to share and market portfolios we're buying. Okay. Call this hot chick for condo details. Yeah, that's a different video because I threw that there just to make fun of it. But you can see she put her contact information on there, email, phone number, give me a phone call. But she was stressed out. I'm like, just send the email, send the damn email. And she got a good open rate. Okay. But the whole point was, if she had never done that, she would have never known. And with something like that, when so many people respond to something like that have money to fund, do you really need a market for capital? No, you just you now have a buyer's list or a funding list that you never really have to reach out to and touch. But most of you have never put those things together. All right. Most of you've never done that, and you need to do it. And it's not difficult, but you got to start planting some trees and seeds. Okay. How do you do that? Go out and record a deal video, do some homework, start implementing some of this coaching that we're talking about week in, week out. I'm amazed that so few people will take action. And that's the reason you're stuck in a rut. That's where you're not achieving success. Okay. It's not my fault. It's your fault. You got to be responsible for that. You can use PaperStack or assets from a tape to find a deal and post out there. Use your phone to record it, or Zoom, free version of Zoom for 40 minutes to record a short video and then upload it to your YouTube or socials. Okay. LinkedIn, Facebook, heck, post it to Note Nation if you want to. But that's what you all need to start doing, is start talking about the deals you're looking at, start talking about the numbers, and that's what's going to help you more than anything else. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns. And that's really what I wanted to focus about tonight. So you got to start taking action, start sharing. Y'all are literally 90 days away from raising over $1 million in capital. Okay. And Steph was like, when the email went out with hey, here's a deal that I'm working on. It's worth 110. We're picking up for 70. Our goal is to buy it, foreclose. The minute we buy it and take it over, or take the property back, we could turn around and rent it out. It's like the property was generating at one point $18,000 to $19,000 in rental income. When she bought the note and foreclosed, guess what? All that furniture came with it too, because the borrower lived the heck out of state. I think they're over in like England or something. It was an out-of-country investor that owned it. But that's a great story to tell. Get in the habit of, hey, I'm looking at buying this great little deal in Detroit, and here's why I'm so excited about it. Learn to tell stories about your deal. Okay. Share what's going on. And people, those that don't be scared to share. Okay. If somebody comes back and says something negative about an email or post, guess what? Unsubscribe, block them. That's what you do. Get rid of the trolls with a block. All right. That's all you got to do. But take action, start marketing, start raising awareness in what you're doing, start sharing deals that you're offering on a good street view. That's the easiest thing. And I'm always amazed at how few people will actually do it. Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns about this stuff before we let you go for the night? If you have a deal you're working on, hey, reach out to, book a call with me. Be glad to give you 5-10 minutes to go through what you're doing. Share your post. Oh, that's look good, or tweak this, or don't put that on there. Okay. Put this on there. All right. It's so easy to raise capital if you will just start taking some of these actions, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this week 3. All right. It's supposed to be fun. Note investing, real estate investing is fun. Let's do this. Let's take it. It's always better to take actions versus sitting there. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. Twiddle my thumb. Just start taking action. Do something to get the message out on what you're doing. All right. Love you all. Have a great rest of your week.